What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Stream PC. Our boy Lucky is not here, but we have something better for you. Crash! Episode 14 is going to get underway. We're doing things a little bit different today. Of course, we're going to interview Crash so you guys can learn a little more about her. And also, we're going to be taking questions from us, from the community, and just answering those kind of direct. Let's get it going. Crash, thank you so much for stepping in for Lucky today. I know it was a big ask. I know it was a very last minute ask, but I appreciate you.
Yeah, I hate you a little right now.
Nah, it's fine. You'll be here. You'll hit the ground running. Your name is Crash 100-yard dash for
Exactly.
a reason.
Exactly.
I think we're gonna be all right.
The long version is actually Crash Lavern Boom Tavern.
Boom.
That is a long. That is
I
very
love it.
long.
No, that's my new thing for now on for her.
That is pure general swing pants and my father.
I'm writing it down.
I don't know if I'll ever be able to find that on like a nameplate for you.
No, I've looked.
It's too late. Wrote
I'm
it down.
sure.
It's going in to mix it up. Done. Anyways,
He's gonna misspell it for sure.
Google.
He said Google. You need me after you type it out to me and ask.
Yeah.
So introduce yourself to everybody. You are obviously a streamer and you stream on Twitch. What got you into streaming? Why did you decide to hit the go live button?
Well, honestly, it was my husband
Okay.
that made me get started. He always used to make jokes. We've been together almost 10 years, and he always used to make jokes about me doing my own sound effects, is what he would call it.
Okay.
I would play things like Resident Evil 4, and, I'm just literally ka-chow, and it just being myself.
Just being a goofball.
And
Lightning
exactly.
McQueen.
And it used to make him laugh so hard from the couch watching me play games. And then we started playing Destiny together.
Gotcha.
And it only intensified because of his sense of humor. And once we moved up here, he got me my battle station really going. I've always had a desk, but it was just an Xbox and a monitor. And he started getting my battle station going, and he was like, why don't you hit that live button? Because apparently I was cracking him up playing COD, and I
Right.
started out as just a COD streamer. No camera.
That's
just
okay.
Straight from the Xbox.
So what do you mostly play nowadays? Since you said started out, what do you? I know personally you play a lot of Fortnite.
I do.
What else are you into right now?
I'm playing Fallout, Skyrim, and Fortnite and Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay, cool.
W. That's some great choices.
That's some good games, yeah. Well, that is super awesome. And would you say that you've kind of kept up with why you started, or have things changed? How long have you been streaming for now?
Since I hit the go live button, it's probably been closer to a year and a half.
Wow, cool. Yeah.
Because I had been streaming straight from my Xbox for at least 6 to 8 months before I met you guys.
Nice.
So it's been a hot minute. I was perfectly fine and still am perfectly fine being live and seeing that donut. It doesn't bother me at all. I do it for fun. It's a hobby. If I make $1 here or there, cool. If I don't, fine.
When you say
nobody comes
donut,
in,
what are you
fine.
referring to here? Monetization or viewers?
Zero
Or
viewers.
there's no way you guys are viewers. Golden's there. I imagine.
Well, now.
Jesus, Golden.
Yeah.
Actually, Golden's missed a couple streams lately. So
He's been working a lot, yeah.
He has been. That's why you don't see Pantsless in my stream very often either. He's always working.
He do be working.
Yeah,
A lot.
Pantless out of anybody works probably more ridiculous hours than I've met. So,
It's expensive.
and
to
FYI,
marry to
everybody,
me.
Pantless is the Crash Laverne's husband.
Yes.
Yes. He doesn't wear pants.
Got a thing against
what
pants.
We're learning from this.
What is
Pantsless legend.
what is this thing
Well,
against pants? You watched
Pantsless
He read
Thunder
Captain
Goose.
America as a boy, and
Yeah, no, Pantsless Thunder Goose wouldn't fit on the Xbox name.
gotcha.
That's
Too many
fair.
characters.
That's long. Yes.
Yeah.
Very long. I struggle with that as Sauce McSaucy. I have to be Sauce McSauce because the Y is too much for Xbox and it makes me sad every time. Now, speaking of Xbox though, because I already know what your answer is here. But Xbox or PlayStation?
That's actually a more loaded. It's a loaded question for me because
He's about to leave.
I have honestly been on both since the beginning. Realistically, I'm a video game player,
There you go. There
and
you go.
even though I favor my Xbox currently, my PS2 was my life. My original Xbox was important. My GameCube was like
Mm.
my favorite for
Oh,
a
yeah.
long time.
I rocked
GameCube
that
was
thing for a
great.
long time.
Oh,
Still
I
back
loved
there.
my GameCube. Oh yeah, mine's in my daughter's room.
GameCube was such an interesting console. Like the disc size alone was so annoying, though. Like they're
I
just
didn't mind it.
tiny
I thought it
little
was
discs.
cool.
Yeah.
Easy to lose them though. Terrible.
GameCube to me is one of those that it was ahead of its time. If it would have just had come out a little bit later with the internet capabilities and stuff, because it was one of those first ones that was kind of really gearing up for internet capabilities. I feel like it was just going to be this. It should have been way bigger than it was. So GameCube was such a letdown in the end. During its time, its beginning, a couple of years, it was just peak entertainment, dude. Honestly, if it would have kept that up, it would be a conversation nowadays. I saw this the other day on Twitter, and I laughed, and I thought to myself, why is this a thing? Because it said Team PlayStation, Team Xbox, and then there was Team Nintendo, like in the background, like, you fools can't even compare to me. And I'm like, huh? What? Like,
I mean,
you're
back
never
in the day, it was.
right, and that's what I was getting into. Like, you're never part of the conversation, but like back in the day, like during GameCube era, oh yeah, it was Team GameCube for sure. So those are interesting.
I mean, even now, like the Switch is pretty awesome. Like the ability to be able to go from having a console that's stationary to just picking it up and walking around with it. That's crazy. Because try doing that with a PS5 or an Xbox Series X. It ain't happening.
Yeah. Well, the PS5 has like the PS Portal now, which is another letdown. How are you going to give me the Portal without back buttons on it? Like, that made no sense. It has all the other Edge capabilities on the controller itself, but it doesn't have back buttons. That was a letdown. But then you also, your PlayStation has to be on and running, if I'm not mistaken, from what I've heard from others. It says that it supports it while it's not on and running. But if it's not on and running and you're not in a certain range of it, everybody has said issues of it not working completely. So to me, that's a giant L. Like, I want one still, and I still want to, do my own research on it. But just all the reviews I'm reading and hearing from friends that do have it, it's just a letdown.
Yeah, Sony doesn't exactly have a good track record when it comes to handheld, though.
Hey, you put a PS Vita in my hand today, and I'd still be happy. That thing.
I mean, they're cool, but
yeah, talk about
Nintendo
another
cornered the
thing.
market
Another thing that was way ahead of
I
its
was a
time,
Game
though.
Boy girl.
Game Boys were great.
Yeah,
I had a Game Boy
Elite.
Color. I got the first generation DS when it came out.
right.
I was a Game Boy Advanced guy.
My dad got me one.
But let's think about it. Again, PSP, PSV were way ahead of their time. Way
They
ahead.
were.
If they made them today, you would have lighter, more durable consoles, right? Especially that screen. You'd have better screen quality / visual quality of it, right? And you'd be able to connect to either, hopefully some cellular capabilities to where you can play it on the go for real, or you obviously still using it Wi-Fi at home for the best gaming capability. But imagine playing Warzone Mobile on that damn thing. Imagine like
Right.
that would be
every console if you think about it that
so
way. Any
fire.
console that would be in this time frame would be better than it was in the time frame.
No, absolutely. But we're specifically speaking on handheld right now. So like that
right.
Yeah, those two for sure were just ahead of their
Imagine
time.
being able to trade on Pokemon without
without that
link
damn cord.
Cat link cable.
The cable.
Oh man,
Just being able to trade with your friends from house to house.
That's hilarious. Cross state to state, because all of us are
we
in
do
different
that
states.
now with the Switch.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's
why.
My nephew
That's
and
what
I
it
trade Pokemon all the time.
I'm still playing Sword.
I miss Gen 1 and
I
Gen
had
2.
Shield.
Oh, you had Shield, I had Sword.
Yeah,
Great.
pantsless head sword. And we beat him like right in the nick of time before Scarlet and Violet came out. I got Violet, he got Scarlet.
I like
We
that
had
you
time
guys
to
are
play
getting the
'em, though.
opposite ones. I like
We
it.
do.
That is super
We-
awesome.
We trade
So you
Pokemon.
get like the best of both worlds there.
Absolutely.
What was your guys' first Pokemon game?
Mine was yellow. the
Shield.
Pikachu edition.
Shield was your first Pokemon game?
Yeah, until I started streaming and I met your community, you and
fired.
Lucky's. Listen, I never even watched Pokemon. I never got into it. I was never on the hype of it. I know what you're talking about with that cable because I used to sit on the bus and I used to make fun of the kids that had to like sit next to each other with their little cable. Like, trade this before I get off. Hurry, hurry, hurry. And like the trade time was so freaking slow. One kid would be like telling the bus driver, "Can we have a minute?" I'm like, yo, what?
All right. I need everyone in the comment section
All right,
to
here we
go
go.
ahead and start roasting
There we go.
Aztecan because
Yeah,
that is absolutely horrendous.
right.
That is
My f-
Yeah.
Oof.
Mhm.
My first Pokemon game was Gold. My favorite Pokemon game. Love it. Have so many memories of it. I also played Yellow, Red, Blue, Green, all of them, up through Gen 3. And then I stopped playing for a while and then went and I got Shield. I think I had Shield. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I played through Sapphire. Sapphire was the last one that I played until I got the Let's Go Eevee on the Switch. Was when I think Pokemon Go. We did Pokemon Go for a little while there.
I think
'cause
everybody did except for me.
I
Yeah.
was pregnant. I was
Gotcha.
pregnant, so go walk and catch Pokemon.
Hell no.
You're like, I can do that.
Oh, I was so for it. I was like, absolutely. My doctor says that I got to get off my ass because all I did was back then. All I did was play video games. I worked 2 nights a week and made like $700 a week. It was all
Yeah.
play money.
Right.
Pantsless paid the bills.
Yeah,
so
it does.
I sat around and
Mhm.
played video games all the time. Had no kids.
So jealous
Nothing wrong
of
with
you.
that. Nothing wrong with that at all. I
Yeah.
like that idea actually.
But
I
to
bet
go
you
back,
do.
But to go back, you're gonna bully me because I didn't have the right friends growing up. That's not my fault. we were Yu-Gi-Oh kids. All right, I still got my old classic Yu-Gi-Oh cards. All my
I mean,
friends,
my
we were on
sister would.
Yu-Gi-Oh. Nobody in my friends group did Pokemon. We
I
were
think
just all
honestly it's
Yu-Gi-Oh.
because you're younger.
Ouch.
I
If-
honestly think that's what it is because Pokemon was like super, super popular whenever we were in elementary school, going into middle school, and then even in high school, it was still popular. But whenever I was in 5th grade, that's whenever Yu-Gi-Oh started getting popular. That's whenever everyone was starting to trade them. And by that time, you would have been a kindergartner, I think.
Yeah.
God, I was like, I was like 10.
Woo, y'all showing y'all's age today.
Okay,
That's
something like that.
crazy.
I mean, it's fine. You got 7-11 kids, so you're at like 55 by now.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm dog earing over here.
Spiritually an old man.
Yeah.
But
So
I
you-
really do think that it was a generational thing, though, because
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
you had the Pokemon kids, and then was Yu-Gi-Oh, and then the younger kids, like my youngest sister is a '95 baby, and all of her friends were into Digimon.
So I was about to say,
Digimon,
I'm gonna make
yeah.
y'all cringe because Digimon was my mon. You know what I'm saying? Like every freaking Saturday morning, Digimon, digital monsters.
It was such a ripoff, but
Hey.
Literally.
it was
but-
my OG. All right.
do yourself a
Um,
favor, sit down with your kids and watch Indigo League. It's on Netflix.
well, we've started, like I said, when I met Lucky in Sauce's communities, and I started this streaming journey and stuff. They had that Pokemon game in their chats, which was whatever, dude. I was so irritated with it, and I didn't realize one day I had went ahead and joined it because Lucky told me to, and then by the time I started really playing, I'm like a millionaire on that thing, So because I had spent so much time with them in their chats, and you collect the coin or whatever.
Yep.
And they, of course, they bullied me when I was just like, I don't know Pokemon. They, of course, yelled at me and all that. So, we've watched, I think, like 7 or 8 episodes of the original series. But like getting the girls to want to sit down and like watch Pokemon is impossible.
Yeah.
Like they want to like we've watched more Powerpuff Girls than Pokemon here lately. So
Watch it for you.
Hey, Powerpuff Girls is acceptable.
so I
Sugar,
would
spice, and everything nice.
I would watch it myself on my own time, but you got to think like my own time is spent making content. So like when I have time to be in there watching TV, it's with them. And if any parent on here listening knows, it's the little ones rule the TV, no matter what you think, because they're just gonna sit there and bug you over and over and over and over and
You
over
ain't
and over
making
again.
content on the toilet. You
Yeah.
stopped it.
They're over there. Yeah, I'm gonna watch 5 minutes of Pokemon every one day.
Aztec, don't lie to me that you're sitting 5 minutes on the toilet.
That's how
Stop it.
that's how I got through Fallout. 20 minutes
Just-
here, 5 minutes here.
oh,
Like
that's crazy.
He
It
says
was
5
hard.
minutes on the toilet. You stop it, sir.
I'm a
We
quick
know the life
pooer.
sentence search parties.
Well, listen, I'm a quick pooer. Like this is a little weird of a subject for our podcast here, but I'm a quick pooer, dude. Like I grew up with family. Like we've always had 7, 8, 9 plus people in a house. Like we've had up to like 16 people living in one damn house, bro. Like
That's a lot of
I had a big family, and unfortunately our old house was a one bathroom. So pretty much a quick pooer, and that's something that I've just always been, and definitely helped me out having all these kids here. So
Yeah,
So-
it's definitely a big family thing because
Yeah.
my husband doesn't come from a big family. 45 minutes, and
Jesus.
I know half of it is just TikTok and Twitter.
And I'm not done until my legs are asleep, okay? There's
Yeah.
rules.
Yeah, see, Sauce and Pantsless agree on this subject. Aztec and I are on the same team.
Yeah, we're in a hurry. So,
Oh, I've got fingers under the door.
Mom!
Mama!
yeah, that's hilarious.
If it's not
What are-
fingers, it's paws.
What are
Oh.
children?
So the cats do the same shit, but they stick their whole arm under the door. Mom.
hmm
Real quick, while we're speaking about cats, did anybody see Zaza's TikTok of his cat getting stuck in the laundry hamper?
Oh, Kiwi.
Oh,
yeah.
if you did not see it, you need to go. It is the most adorable. He used a perfect sound on it. It was just perfect.
Yeah,
it was
it was
such a
great.
good content. I hope that video blows up. But you kind of talked about it a little bit already. You kind of walked into it. You said that the PS2 was one of your main consoles. Now, was that your first console, or what console got you started into gaming?
My very first console that I can recall was a Sega Genesis.
Oh, Genesis.
My dad played a little bit of video games when I was born.
Mhm.
The unfortunately the SNES went with my older sister when she went home like the year before I was born. My dad wasn't going to have any more kids at the time. She was like 10. He was like, "Here, you can have the Super Nintendo," and sent it home with her. And then I was born. He ended up getting a Sega Genesis. And after that was the 64.
Yeah.
And we played a lot of that. 64 was the king in our household because 4 girls in the
Yeah,
house.
4 people can play it, so that
4
was
people could
huge.
play. So
Makes sense,
we
yeah.
had all the car games, Beetle Adventure Racing, Mario Kart. We had so many multiplayer games, it was ridiculous.
hmm
And
So is that where your competitive nature in gaming came from, right there?
oh yeah, are you kidding? My dad actually, because my youngest sister was so small at the time, we actually started playing Mario Party, and it would be my dad, me, and my 2 of the older sisters, and we would make bets on mini games with Raisinets. We'd have a plate in between us, all sitting cross-legged on the floor because we had an old school freaking 80s on the ground
Right.
TV.
Yeah. The struggle.
And we'd be sitting, yep, we'd be sitting there with a plate there, and my dad would give us each a little Ziploc baggie of Raisinets,
There you go.
and you would throw your Raisinets on the plate on who was going to win the mini game, and the winner would win all the Raisinets.
So how many classic fights did you guys get into with the old screen cheating?
I feel
Screen
like the
cheating.
only time we ever had any issues with that between me and my sisters was when we would play Mario Kart and we would do the balloon battles.
Okay.
That was the only time that it was ever really an issue. I believe there was a couple of scuffles over that because my sisters and I, we acted like boys. My dad calls us free range. We were
Gotcha.
free range children. We were
Chickens.
homeschooled, and we were best friends and worst enemies. We loved each other. We absolutely hated each other.
Siblings.
I mean, we were really, really tight growing up, though. We didn't all spread out until adulthood.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
I wonder how many of our listeners we just gave some real bad nostalgia with the word screen cheating. I wonder how many people just shivered in their cars or wherever they're
The
listening
world
to
of
us at.
Halo.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's where it was
LAN
bad,
parties.
right? Yeah.
I feel
LAN
like
parties.
we would yell, "Stop screen watching!
Yeah.
Stop screen watching!"
Screen looker.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It was also bad on GoldenEye.
It was bad on pretty much
Oh.
any game. It was terrible.
Any
Um,
competitive.
Call of Duty, like anything that you had like 2 screens on the same screen,
Yeah.
you knew someone was going to be doing it. I remember having like sleepovers and stuff, like middle school and high school, where there'd be like 4 different screens on the same TV, like a big screen. I'm talking like a 60 something inch, maybe 70 inch, something like that. Like one of the big screens that they used to have. And you'd have like the 4 corners. Everyone had their own little area, and you had to sit close enough that you couldn't screen cheat everywhere else just because they're like, yeah, all right. No one's
Yeah, you
looking.
could only look at like one at a time.
Yeah.
Dart your eyes over real quick. Don't turn your head.
Hey, that turns you guys into future streamers. You learn how to look at chat real quick, you know?
Exactly.
Train those eyes. No, I mean, I don't, and nobody come at me. I don't remember
Just
or
expose that
know the
screen.
actual sizes of TVs, but like we probably had like what I would imagine today would be like an 18-inch, 16-inch TV, little bitty thing. And we literally played 4-player on Call of Duty 4. Like literally
Oh.
with the 4 screens on that little bitty TV. Like I'm
Yeah.
not even trying to screen sheet, but I keep watching your screen on accident because mine's so damn small.
Yeah. That would happen a lot when we play Mario Kart and stuff. Like you'd be Peach in one game, and then all of a sudden you decide to be Yoshi the next game, and everything, and your sister's Peach, and you're watching Peach, and all of a sudden you look down there like you're Yoshi, and you look down,
You're
you're
in
like,
a
oh
wall.
god, and you're just running into a wall.
That's awesome.
Yep, been
thinking
there.
You're killing it.
Been there for sure. I had a community member who was working at a movie theater at the time, back whenever Halo LAN parties were like a big thing. So after hours, they would get the
Hell
the
yeah.
movie screen in order to play Halo on, and have like
Yes.
one Xbox in one room, another Xbox, another a really long LAN cable in order to do it. No screen cheating possible in that.
Talk about
Yeah.
a dream, bro. Oh my god.
I couldn't imagine.
That's like a
That would
bucket
be like
list.
Tim
Yeah.
the Tatman, I think, played Call of Duty on the
Cowboy
AT&T.
Stadium. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's super
Is that your
awesome.
dream?
Yeah, fuck. Just getting back to that stadium is a big dream of mine. I've only been once, dude, and it fucking kills me. Like I love the stadium. I love being there. If you've never been to a football game, not just necessarily the Cowboys, but like, and I don't know, this isn't part of our content, but like just that rush of like being in a crowd at an actual game, is so amazing. So just being in the stadium, knowing that feeling and getting to play on that screen would be such a fucking honor, dude. Like I get it. Timmy's a big Cowboys fan as well. Like, so if I ever make it as big as him, like I'm definitely going to remain as loud as I am as a Cowboys fan, because I'm definitely going to try to get that as well. I don't care how old I am or what I do. Speaking
Start
of
breaking your legs more.
speaking of how long and how old, so you've been streaming 1.5 years. Do you see yourself streaming still in about 3 years? If so, where do you see yourself at with this career?
I try really hard not to like envision too far into the future because of how little my daughter is right now. So it's definitely I'm in hardcore hobby mode right now.
Gotcha.
Like I'm okay with growth, but the thought of growing too fast also scares me.
Gotcha.
So I kind of try to balance my hustle out a little bit to where I'm not hustling too hard and it's still fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I made the mistake of just going full speed ahead, and I got burnt out really, really fast.
Okay.
With my kids and my husband not being home all the time and stuff, it got really, really bad. And I got to a point where I didn't want to mom anymore. I didn't want to play video games, let alone stream. I didn't
Right.
want to do anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I need to take a step back. I need to reevaluate some things in my life, and I need to just kind of figure things out. So I took a week off, and things didn't get better. So, got me some help, got myself medicated, and things are really starting to kind of look up. And I'm happy with the hobby aspect of it.
Mhm.
Like, I love my friends and I like hanging out with my friends. I like doing this. I enjoy it. And as long as I enjoy it, I'm just going to keep on enjoying it and let whatever be be.
That's
C'est
awesome.
la vie, c'est la vie. Que
That's
sera,
good.
sera.
That's right.
That's awesome. I'm super proud of you because a lot of people, I mean, they're not even, strong enough mentally or emotionally to stop, look at what they need to look at and get the help that they need or make that change. A lot of us want this so bad, and I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying we want it so bad that we're unwilling to be like, I need to reevaluate myself real quick. So that's super awesome that you had that, strength and character about yourself to do that.
Yeah, I hope to someday, I would like for it to be more my career,
Right.
Mhm.
but gotta do something with a toddler. Chasing a toddler around and trying to find time to stream is
It's
difficult.
exhausting.
When you're the only parent at home,
Yeah.
it is
Right.
very exhausting.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
No,
I
you
can
can't. Shush.
imagine. I can imagine it. That's about all, though.
Use your imagination.
Yeah. I have a very active imagination. Definitely can't tell you firsthand experience of children because what are those?
What are those?
I don't want it. I don't want it. You guys keep those.
All right. I'm going to throw Sauce a little treat here. We're going to get into Sauce's favorite subject on the platform here. You chose to stream to Twitch, but you also used to stream to Kick.
Gross.
Bum, bum, bum. Sauce's
something.
enemy. Yes, I noticed that you have kind of gone back to kind of multi-streaming and all that. So why have you chosen Twitch as your main, and why did you kind of give up on Kick and kind of get back into it? I know that's a lot, but like I need all that. I
got
So
you. Well, I went ahead and started on Kick just because I could. Honestly,
Gotcha.
Okay.
I was like, you know what? My PC can handle it. Why not?
Yeah.
And I've met some pretty awesome people over there. Few and far between, honestly, but I have met some pretty awesome people over there,
Mhm.
and most of them do prefer to watch on Kick. And I kind of look at it as it's not hurting me in any way to provide that platform for them. If they want to come into my stream and they'd rather watch on Kick, then here you go. But I do prefer Twitch. I like the chat engagement that you get with Twitch, with the channel points and the redeems and things like that. Stuff that you have to kind of put the extra effort in to have on Kick. Twitch already provides a lot of it, and it's a lot simpler. And I'm all about the engagement. That's what got me involved with as many streams as I hang out in today. It's all about the engagement.
Mm.
And I prefer that. With Kick, I took a break from Kick because of some issues that I had with some friends and things that was going on over there that I didn't approve of. I was not about the tab for tab crap. My PC is doing what it can. I can tab up 3 people. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to tab you up just because you have me tabbed up. Not happening.
Right.
And they basically boycotted my Fallout series. When I started playing Fallout 4 again, I was constant donut viewers over there. I had nothing. So I was like, okay, they don't want to watch Fallout. Fine. So I stopped streaming to Kick while I finished. I think I did 2 somewhat long quest lines, some
Gotcha.
lengthy quests. And when I was done doing that and I went back to Fortnite, I multi-stream. So they get COD, they get Fortnite, and they get Baldur's Gate. Twitch gets everything.
Yeah. So just to clarify, for anybody listening that maybe didn't understand, so basically what you're saying is by not tabbing up this group that you had found, they basically backlashed at you and then refused to come to your streams because you weren't giving them the fake, viewing engagement and all that.
Yes.
That's quite
Which, at the
interesting.
end of the day, adds up to a bunch of fucking nothing. So fucking dumb. Why are we tabbing people up just so they'll tab you up? It doesn't help. No one wins from this. 0 people. That's why there's people on Kick that have applied for partner. fucking 15 times and get rejected every single time because they know you're tabbing up. They know. It's not like it's a secret.
No, your chat engagement speaks for itself. You've got 92 people in there and 3 people talking, all of which are
It's
mods.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've been, I've made it very clear to everybody on this platform that I am a multi-streamer and I do, variety content, and that hasn't changed, but I haven't noticed any one variety of content work over there on Kick. I've been often with a donut. I have about one guy that I met on Twitter, I think, whenever the Kick devs themselves had gifted me a bunch of subs and put me on #1 on their platform during Christmas time, I believe that was. Actually, it was Christmas Day. I met him on Twitter, and ever since then, he's like always in my stream, but it's just a tap. I'll come in, I'm like, hey, how are you, bro? Never an answer back, And then I finally caught the time one day. I had called in from work, and he streams during my work hours, and I noticed he was live. I went in there. I was like, hey, what's up, man? Didn't even look at the chat. Like 20 minutes later, by then, there were so many other people that were like, tab, 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 tab. I realized, oh, you're a tab for tabber. I haven't been to a stream since. He still comes to every Kick stream of mine, puts an emote down, and then never comes back in. So, it's just super disappointing to see that that's there. So I still count that as a donut. So to me, I still have a donut on Kick every time I stream. Technically, I have one because it's him, but what's the point?
Yeah.
And again, I'm sure somebody out there is going to comment on this clip later and be like, "Oh, you're ungrateful." Yeah, I guess whatever. You can have that one. I'll be ungrateful.
I'll say it again.
It's not engagement.
If you are streaming to 90 people that aren't actually fucking watching your stream,
right?
You're not fucking streaming to 90
There's a
people.
difference between a lurker and a tabber. It's way different.
100%.
Yeah.
Someone who's lurking's actually enjoying your content, maybe preoccupied with something at the time, but actually cares about what you're doing. Somebody who's tabbing is just there just so you'll tab their stream up.
Yeah.
You're literally
a total different thing.
It's awful.
So,
and it's bad over there.
I don't want to give up on it.
Random.
I've met a lot of great people, and I'm definitely people. All y'all can get mad at me if you want, but I'm definitely taking credit for this community member. DZ found me on Kick. DZ found me there, and he's been such a crucial part to this whole community since. So like again, like Crash, like I wanted to give up on TikTok, but you found me there. So I was like, I'm not giving up on TikTok because I found such crucial members of my community that I'm like, I'm not fucking giving up on these platforms because, I streamed for months before I found y'all there, years almost. And I just refuse to quit. So I'll keep doing it. Like you said, my PC can handle it barely, but my PC can handle it and I'm still doing it. So, maybe we find somebody, maybe we don't, but I think you're absolutely right. Twitch's engagement, the UI of everything just built in and making it easy. Can you technically use Blurp, which are sound alerts over on Kick? Sure. But it takes you out of the stream to the website to play. Then you got to hope that you load back into that stream correctly in order to hear your own thing. Otherwise, it's going to be late. Which then they added a delay to it. So then if you're trying to do some comedic timing, that's not going to work because there's such a delay in it to allow you time to get back into the stream. So it's just a fat mess, dude. So yeah, it is frustrating, like the whole community mindset over there. Like Sauce said, we know a lot of people that are trying to get partner, and they're wondering why they're not getting it. And like he said, the devs over there are real people. They're the community of people that made Kick, because it's not just those 2 people now. It's a whole community of people running that thing. They're real people. I've had the wonderful time of talking to one of them. And they check those streams, and like you said, if they just see a wall of emotes and they see a tabbed while I'm live, look, you're not getting it. So at first they were, so I know everybody's feeling super cheated right now because they're like, well, they used to be handing it out, but like, okay, that's because they were trying to grow the platform. Now they feel secure enough in their platform, they feel secure enough, that hey, we're not going anywhere. Now they can be picky and choosy on who's in their platform or not. Now they can say yes or no to certain people. I do think, and a great streamer brought this up the other day, is they should go back and take it away from the people that were just tabbing in the first place, or the people that didn't have those numbers in the first place.
For the record, these people aren't partners. They're verified streamers.
Yeah, just verified.
Kick, which is a different thing. The partner thing is a bigger criteria that you have to hit on Kick over that. So one of the requirements of being a partner is to be verified, though. So that's like being a super affiliate, pretty much, is what
Yeah.
being verified over there is.
From what I understand, and maybe my information's misinformation, but like the first 2 months that they rolled out the partner program, pretty much almost all bigger verified guys, I think, I can't remember what the number was. I think it was like 300 plus average viewers or something. They automatically got the partnership,
Yeah.
is what I'm being told. So that's what we're referring to, is like those people should lose their partnership who are just tabbing.
Yeah.
They should. At the end of the day, it doesn't
I
affect
think-
me. It's not something I'm going to sit here and like stand on business and be like, oh my God, this needs to change today. I care. Because I kind of
Yeah.
don't. But like, it is what it is, dude.
You want to know what's crazy to me? Like, this obviously Kick came from being like a carbon copy of Twitch, right? How in the hell, after being up and running for well over a year now, do they not have channel points or integrations
Why is it
with
still
all
in
the
beta?
things like they do? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Well, I believe somebody explained it to me that they're having to tiptoe a lot because of the rivalry between them and Twitch. Like they can't copy Twitch too much because they don't want to get sued and end up losing the fight, essentially.
Mm.
So,
I mean,
like
maybe,
that-
but
So they're struggling
So-
to
They
come
got
up
the
with
source
creative
code.
ideas to do it.
yes,
what, they just want to rename it? It's not
Bro.
it's not channel points. It's
Right.
channel engagements.
something they, but they do. They have supposedly they have their legal department and stuff,
Listen,
and they just try.
they could hire me 100,000 for a month, and I'll have
Right.
all that shit figured out quick.
I got ideas.
Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
well,
though.
just like devs anywhere else, they don't listen. People cry out. It's the internet. You
Yeah.
know, Google yourself.
Mhm.
You'll see what people are saying. It's not that hard. They just
Mhm.
don't listen.
I mean, let's be honest. At the
Division.
end of the day, all they did was they turned Twitch green.
Yeah.
That's all they did at the beginning. That's it. Because it was literally source code they got from Twitch
Mhm.
whenever there was a leak at one point. So they literally took that and then built their own website from it, and it became Kick. So it's literally a
Carbon
carbon copy,
Yeah.
just a different color,
Yeah.
and it's just not as good. It's not. You don't have all of the tools that make Twitch what Twitch is. You don't have all of the community building that Twitch has done. Twitch is not a perfect platform by any means.
Yeah.
They have problems.
They
But
had a
I
lot
would
of these
take
problems at
Twitch.
first as well.
Oh,
Mhm.
every company has these problems at first. Like, if you want something that is more businessy than like drama-y, go to YouTube. That's way more business focused because it's been around longer. That's what it is. Their streaming side might not be as
Yeah, they had a lot of issues
Upgraded.
launching that as well. Yeah.
they did. Yeah, and that is a company that had so much money they could have done what they wanted and it
Yeah.
not been a problem. If you see, they've kind of went away from doing streaming because streaming is not as profitable for them as shorts.
Right.
Mhm.
Because, like I said, whenever you want to start streaming, start making shorts first, start making TikToks first, because that's where you're going to see the most growth because it's the easiest. Return on investment is so much easier for that, and it's so much quicker.
That was my first step. TikTok.
hmm
All right, Crash. Last question as I stop grilling you so damn much. Okay. Well, actually, no, I got two. I forgot there's one important one I wanted to do.
He said, wait a minute. I'm not done yet.
What
I
is-
am not afraid.
So obviously your spouse was very open and kind of the one that pushed you into streaming. What are your siblings or your parents or close, IRL friends, what do they think of your streaming career? Like, do they know? Do they support it? Do they make fun of you? Like, what is it?
It's a pretty mixed bag, honestly. My parents could care less. Couldn't care less, actually. They I talk about it here and there and stuff like that, and they're just like, "Oh, that's good." You know. My dad's a little more traditional, so I hear "mom up" from him a lot. But my husband's unbelievably supportive. My bestie of almost 30 years, Miss General Swing Pants.
Woo!
She's super, super supportive. So supportive, in fact, that she has actually started to get involved in other communities and stuff and watching streams on her own. Like she'll
Awesome.
she'll be watching Zaza. I'll come into to
Oh
Zaza
yeah,
and
we know
everything. And
why. Yeah, we know
she's like,
why.
oh, there he is. There you are. What are you doing? I was like, girl, you're supposed to call me. What the
Yeah.
Waiting for book talk. I see.
Oh, time out. Quick service announcement. I did pay out the subs that I owed Zaza, and he did let me in on a little secret. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it because he didn't tell me I couldn't. He's recording this intro video this week.
Yes.
Super exciting. So,
Good.
anyways, go ahead. I'm so sorry, Crash. Everybody just says I don't pay up when I say I paid up, bro. Come on.
They beat up.
He said, I did it. I did it this time. I'm a real boy.
Other than general, my friends are few and far between, but they don't care either. My younger sisters, one of them that's kind of into anime and video games and stuff. She thinks it's cool, but she doesn't watch or anything or support. Occasionally, she'll like a TikTok.
Well, she's had enough of you, and she's like, I'm done.
We don't talk.
Like, I watched you play video games for 18 of my 18 years of my life.
Shared a room. Yeah, we shared a room for a long time, and yeah, she's just, you know. And then the sister underneath that, she pops in every once in a while. She thinks it's pretty cool. She pops in, and then my youngest sister actually created a Twitch account just to go follow me before I hit my affiliate.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's cool. That's support. You know, a lot of people don't have that, so that is super awesome. All right, for real. Last question. All right, for real. Okay. I know, again, you're taking this as a hobby. You've only been doing it a year and a half, but you've learned a lot in that year and a half, right? Obviously. So if you could go back to before your husband talked you into hitting the go live button, what piece of advice would you give yourself then from today's knowledge and skill?
I definitely would have told myself to start small.
Okay.
Because that was the first thing that I did once I got into it. Like, whether I had viewers or not, the first thing I did was 5 nights a week. And
okay, so elaborating on that, you talking about how much you're streaming? Gotcha.
Yeah. Take it just a little bit at a time, you know, especially if you're going into it with a hobby mindset, you really just like two nights a week starting out. Take you 2 nights a week or 2 days a week if you want to be, you know, daytime. And, you know, stick to that for a little while, see where it takes you. Then maybe add a third day, you know, and work your way up to only taking 2 nights off a week. That was my biggest mistake. So that is definitely what I would tell myself a year and a half ago. It's just, you know, Friday and Saturday night, girl, stick to it for a little while, see where it takes you.
Yeah.
I think everyone should honestly go into this with a hobby mindset to begin with.
They really
because you don't even know if you're going to like it. Let's be completely honest.
Yeah, that's true.
So going into it with anything other than that doesn't really make sense to my brain, because the odds of making money, making this a career, are not the highest thing in the world. It's just not.
Yeah.
Can you do things to make it that? Sure. But I could tell you, as someone who does this for money, it don't make a lot of money, guys.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. If my situation was any different than what it is right now, I wouldn't be able to do this as a career currently. Just wouldn't be possible. But the fact that I don't have children, and the fact that we live in a small house and we have lower bills, it makes it possible to do it. So going into things with the right mindset is always super important. So my recommendation would just be go into it for fun, enjoy yourself, because that's how I went into it, was for fun and meeting people. And after a while, then your brain starts going, hey, I'm starting to get a little bit of money from this. Maybe this could be something that could be something. Maybe I put a little more effort into this. And whenever you start getting those thoughts, that's when you might want to take it a little bit more seriously. And as for over streaming, I think that's a common problem for most people. Let's be completely honest. People like to dive in, and a lot of people want like instant results. So they think if they put, 5 days a week, 8-hour sessions, that they're going to be famous next week. No, you're not. It's not going to happen. Could it happen? Potentially. Maybe you're the next queso. Maybe. But if you guys want to know a secret, even though I said maybe you're the next queso, if you look at his analytics, you know how long this guy actually streamed and was working on his content and everything before he blew up?
Right.
A heck of a lot longer than you think. He
Yeah.
posted a TikTok and it went off, but he had been streaming already for a couple of years
Mhm.
before he blew up.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
most success is not overnight, even if it looks like it's overnight success. So take that how you will.
I'm perfectly good with the snail crawl. I'm good with it. I
That's
really
perfectly
am.
fine.
Like a lot of people think that I'm kidding about that, and I'm really not. Like I honestly, if something of mine were to go viral tomorrow, I would probably have to be institutionalized. I would freak out completely and be like, "Oh my god, no, 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 no! How can I do? No, no, got a
I mean, that's
2-year-old."
fair. I think virality is a double-edged sword in some thoughts because, yeah, you get a lot of exposure,
Mm-hmm.
but then you're also known for that one thing. And a lot of people like to feed into that one thing for a little while. And maybe that's not really what you do. Maybe that was just like an out of character moment that happened to pop off. And now you're like pigeonholed into that one thing, or
Mm-hmm.
you're just not ready because
Yeah.
you haven't gotten the chops from streaming for long enough and figuring out how to handle chats. Because I can tell you, when you go from 0 to 1,000 people in your chat, you're not going to be ready for it. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
I'm not ready to see 150 people in my chat. That would be crazy. I've been there. I've seen the chat happen, and it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Just seeing it move, and you just can't read anything. You're like, so this is why they don't talk to chat.
Yeah.
So-
This is why they don't talk to chat.
So I think that's a super cool like segue into kind of like something that I was gonna say for our next episode. But we're already here at the knocking at the door. So a lot of people think like they have to find like a thing, like their thing, right? Like Queso's thing's getting bullied, right?
A niche.
Yeah. Well, yes, but
There's
I'm
shit.
referring to kind of like oh man, I just forgot his name. Timmy Toucans, his laugh, right? That's his thing. Like that's him. You hear that laugh, you know who it is, right?
Mhm.
But how far does that get him, really? Okay, now maybe it's just me because I'm an a-hole or something. But you know, I found him for the first time. I loved the content. I was like, oh my god, this laugh is great. Obviously, everybody else felt the same way the first time they saw him. Pretty much, well, most people. I can't say everybody else, but most people felt the same way. But like after a couple of months, it's like, okay, bro, like what's next after this laugh thing? It gets old, you know. So people
Yeah.
get so hooked and stressed out about finding like what is my thing, you know, and then at the end of the day, you can find it, but how long is it going to last you? You know, it's so rough because people, the internet more specifically, get so tired so quick of the same thing over and over again. You know, how many creators on TikTok right now do you know do a certain routine or a certain thing that you like, and when they switch it to something else, you either quit watching their content or, you know, you're just like, that's not you. Right. But then at the same time, you punish that same person for doing the same thing every time. Right. So that's something you gotta think about is you can't just be looking for one thing. You know, one of the greatest life quotes that I've ever heard, which this will pertain to streaming, you know, is life's not about finding who you are. It's about making who you are. You know, everybody's like, I want to find out who I am. Well, you can't because you're not you. You know, you have to make you. There's nothing to find. So as a streamer, it's the same journey as life. You have to make yourself. You can't find yourself. There's nothing to find. There's nothing to become. I mean, there's nothing set in stone for you to become, right? It's what you make of yourself. So you have to do your own thing. You know, I did the I'm better thing for like 2 months. It got annoying to me, right? So I let it go. Now every time that I tag it back in a stream or like a random time, everybody fucking goes nuts. They love it. They love it because it's like, oh, he used to do this all the time. You know, but I barely do it now. I try not to keep it up a lot, you know, so that's what I'm saying is like, I love Timmy Toucans. You know, some of his content as of late, he's still trolling, he's still doing the same thing, and he's kind of cooled back off on his little laugh thing. which I love, which is great. So I don't know if he noticed what I'm saying about himself or somebody pointed it out to him, but I think he's really chilled out on the whole or loud, obnoxious thing, but I've seen him get back into it every now and then. And when he does it, you're like, oh, it's the thing, but it's not overdone anymore. So
I think the only thing that can't really be overdone is being authentic. As long as you're authentic to who you are as a person, I think you're going to be successful in whatever you do in life, be it streaming, be it a career in finance. As long as you're whoever you are and doing things that are, you, I think you could find success with it. Now, are you going to be everybody's cup of tea? No, not everyone likes I'm better boy over here. And that's okay. Not everyone likes Sauce. Not everybody likes Crash. But there's a lot of people who will.
Right.
Your goal as a streamer is to find the people who will like you, who are your people, your tribe, your community, your sauce bottle, your temple, whatever you want to call them. That's what you're looking for as a streamer. That's what you're looking for as a content creator. And you have to be strong enough to be able to know that. Not physically strong. That's great if you can lift heavy things, but mentally tough enough that
not
you
me.
can handle it.
That's not me.
Because I can guarantee you, as soon as you post a video over on YouTube, we've all done it. There are hate comments.
They're so mean. They're so mean.
There are people that do not like you no matter what you do.
Oh yeah.
They'll be weight comments. They'll be, wow, imagine looking like that and posting content like this.
You call this content? Yeah.
Who cares? Like, who cares? Or somebody looking at Crash saying, hey, why aren't you in the kitchen?
Right.
Who cares? Like, at the end of the day.
I get that one every once in a while.
Yeah, it happens, right? And it's terrible, but it is what it is. Because as long as you're strong enough to understand that people are going people and be stupid as fuck, then you just got to be like, cool. Thanks for the engagement.
Yeah.
You're not one of my people. Kick rocks.
Bye.
So for any of our viewers or listeners who aren't like actually, coming to our streams and stuff, you're just a podcast listener, which is super awesome. We appreciate you as well. But for any of you guys that aren't a part of our streams, I have caught both of these two when they think I'm not around yelling, I'm better. So when he says not everybody's going to love I'm better boy, they love it. They can't deny it because I've heard them say it in their own streams. Yeah, no. Okay, hold on. I've heard you make fun of it and be like, I'm better, and make fun of it. But I also heard you do it the other day, and you were like, and I could see in your face, you were like, fuck. Because you're like, I did not mean to say that.
You live in our heads rent free.
I don't know if you saw me making fun of your Riz thing the other day.
I didn't get a chance to see that. That sounds super awesome. Did you have the clip?
It was great.
I want to see it.
Send it to me. So I think somebody
Send
clipped
it to me.
But it was.
Oh my. Oh my.
Anyway.
That was excessive, sir. Oh.
That's what you do every time. Every time.
Yeah. My wife got onto me for showing the tongue. She's like, "Don't you show that secret thing? That's mine."
You said no.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, my bad.
You're in trouble now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna shift gears. We're gonna do something that we've not really done on the podcast. We do it, but we don't do it at this extent. Usually community members will send us questions or whatever. But we actually got a couple comments on a YouTube video that we've posted. So shout out Not a Monkey. She was on the podcast a couple episodes ago.
Nah.
So she's wanting to know, what are the pros and cons of adding bots to your stream? And when she says bots, for those of you that know what we're talking about, she's referring to like Mix It Up, Lumia, stuff like that. For those of you that don't know, so these are just little helpful, usually web browser sources that will help us navigate our stream, whether it's playing a sound on stream, playing a video on stream, using chat commands, and whatever the case is. She's wanting to know the pros and cons of adding it. So Sauce, let's start that off with you, buddy. What is a pro and con of adding a bot? Is there cons? Are there pros? What is it?
I don't really think there's a con to adding it, as long as you know what it's doing and you have researched it enough to know. Like,
okay,
because you have control of what you're doing with it, so
exactly.
You can't really make it into a con unless you are not experienced enough to figure out how to use it correctly. Now, it can definitely be a pro because it's going to add things to your stream. Now, that's up to you though, because if you want a bare bones stream, that's completely fine. And those are successful streams too. There's also streams that have all the bells and whistles. I've seen people literally have like a spaceship themed stream where they will walk around a spaceship and just have different scenes where they teleport from room to room. Really cool stuff.
Wow.
But it's not my thing.
Gotcha.
I thought it was cool to watch. It's not something I would watch personally on an everyday basis because it's too much for me.
Yeah.
I like simple. I'm a simple guy. So it literally just depends on you and what you want your vibe to be, what you want things to be. I use Mix It Up Bot because it's my favorite bot personally, but I use it for everything from like my alerts to doing my sounds and videos on stream. We just added something here recently where if you type !faction in my chat, it'll tell you which Fallout faction you are. Which that's something that's a quick Google will tell you how to do on Mix It Up Bot.
YouTube.
So exactly.
Redeem sucks.
You're just mad that you get something other than the Minutemen, okay? It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
It gave me the railroad. I was actually offended.
Hey, let's be honest here though. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but the Railroad is the only good guy faction. Let's be honest.
This is true.
They are the epitome of chaotic good or chaotic good. That's all they have.
Gotcha. So Crash,
it
you
is.
kind of mentioned how, you know, the bots are important to you earlier because that was why your preference was Twitch over Kick, you know, because of the sound alerts, the channel points. Because at the end of the day, I mean, but channel points is basically a built-in bot for Twitch, basically. You know,
Yeah.
for what it does, I mean, you can find a bot to do the same exact thing inside of Twitch because obviously the UI has to be what's the word here? Integrated with Twitch. So
Right.
not a lot of bots out there integrating with Kick because I think everybody's just kind of waiting around to see if they're going to make it. You know, I think if you remember Mixer came out, a lot of bots rushed to implement themselves with Mixer, and we all know how that ended. So
Yeah.
but to me, yeah, I mean, bots are cool. I mean, if you are smart and you're networking, and you go to somebody else's stream and you see how they do something, which is why I have literally like 95% of what I have, and you want that thing for your channel because it fits you, like Sauce just like explained, like if it fits you, then yeah, feel free to add it. You know, look it up if you don't want to ask that streamer, which again we've talked about. Go ahead and ask a streamer. 95% of us are super open and not gatekeeping anything.
Right.
Just YouTube it and find it, and you know, there's going to be a guide on how to run it and all that because people love making content with bots. It's a super lucrative way for YouTubers to make money. Something that I've been kind of looking into, but keep failing at. But I don't think they're necessary.
Yeah.
You know, can they have cons? Absolutely. Like if you're like me and you're just lazy and you let your your Nightbot spam in your chat like 1 trillion times, you know, that's kind of a con. It's annoying to the viewers and stuff like that. And you know, if it does it way too much, you could miss a chat. Definitely could be a con in that aspect of it. Some of that stuff, I want it to get pushed out. So everybody's like, oh my God, Nightbots are getting annoying. And I'm just like, well, hit the merch shop then. Come on now. You know, so,
Right.
but definitely
I think
pros.
that can kind of be managed based on your timer itself.
Yeah.
So if you,
like I said, I'm
put,
just
like,
lazy.
the minutes between it,
Yeah.
you can make it to where it never hits, depending on how long your stream is. Because the longer you stream, you're gonna have times. Because even if you have something that hits every 10 minutes, something that hits every 15 minutes, on that 30th minute, you're gonna have 2 hit at the same time.
Yeah. But something else a lot of people don't understand, I think, and which I kind of finally figured out on my own finally, is when you set the lines of chat into the bot. So let's say you set the lines of chat to 15, and one's a 10-minute timer, one's a 15-minute timer. If you go 15 minutes, right? Or sorry, 10 minutes without chat, and then 15 minutes at 16 minutes, finally somebody chats, both those timers will now go off one after the other because it's just been waiting for your 10-minute timer for the 15 lines of chat. Then your 15-minute timer goes off and it's like, oh, finally there's enough chat. So it sends both of those at the same time. So that is a tricky thing. Like if your chat's not very active, it's better to take the lines of chat out and just have it set at those times. But if you're super active, obviously use the lines of chat if you want to. But anyways, you know, we ran into this, you know, we all know Snap Camera went out of business what, almost 2 years ago now. Has it been?
Yep.
And one of my big things, you know, I ran a special little thing on my stream, Fiesta Time. I'm just going to talk about that one because it's my main one back then. My community loved it. They fucking spammed it 2, 4, 6 times every stream. And with Snapcam leaving, I freaked out to Sauce. I freaked out to Lucky. I cried and I was like, what am I going to do? That's literally my whole content. And Sauce, and it still burns up my soul to this day. Pissed me off. And he was just like, if Fiesta Time's your whole content, why even stream? And then he like didn't even say anything for like 2 hours after. I don't know if he got busy, fell asleep, what. But I was sitting there and like anime villain leant forward, like fucking lines on my forehead, just reading his message over and over and over. And I was just like, this motherfucker. But then obviously that rational part of me, that part of me that is a content creator streamer was just like, oh my God, he's fucking right. If I can't stream without this, why am I even streaming? Right. And then I accepted the fact that I was never going to have it again. And of course we found a workaround and I got it right back. So yeah, but it's one of those things. And it's obviously another one of those things that's kind of died off for me. It still happens every now and then, but it's just one, like we talked about, it's just one of those things that, you know, people are like, oh, this is great. And they just spam. And then it's like, all right, kind of tired of seeing this, you know, same thing over and over. Mm-hmm. So,
whenever something's new, people want to see it.
Right. Yeah. So my thing is,
that's why always adding new things is important.
Right. So if you're adding the bot just for a little bit of help, you know, maybe just something a little bit different, spice it up a little bit, cool. But you definitely shouldn't be adding it as a crutch. It shouldn't be your whole thing, your whole content. So in adding a bot in that way, I would maybe hold off on that for a little while until you start kind of getting your bearings and all that. That would be kind of the way I view that. At what point, maybe, should somebody just give up after years of trying? So at what point in your streaming career have you been doing it? You're getting nowhere. You're not growing. Maybe you're growing, but it's just a super slow slope. When do you give up? When do you throw in the towel? Sauce, I'll let you answer this one first as well.
Evaluate your goals. What's your goal? Do you want to be famous? Do you want to stream for fun? Are you doing this because you love doing it? That's what matters, is what you want it to be. Because you're not failing unless you think you are failing. That's the key here. So if you are putting yourself on a goal line that you're not at, that's something you have to figure out for yourself.
Right.
Do I think you should quit just because the numbers aren't what you want them to be? No, if you enjoy stream. Like it's for fun. Which is why the odds of being a streamer who does this consistently, makes a living at it, are not that high. I'm sorry, it's just not.
Yeah.
I hate to be the person to tell you guys that, because I want everyone to be successful. I want everyone to be able to achieve their dreams. But you have to do it realistically.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So whenever you're looking at this, whenever you first started streaming, I'm sure you saw people that had like 20 people in their chat and you're like, that person's a full-time streamer, I bet. Because you're like, yeah, they got 20 people in there. Cool. And you had 0 people at the time. Yeah. So you're like, man, that's crazy. I can't imagine having 20 people in there. They're not. They're probably not. They probably have a part-time job somewhere or a full-time job somewhere doing something to make ends meet. And that's great. 20 people on average is massive on Twitch.
It is.
Yeah.
Like right now, I think my average is somewhere around like 12 or something. I'm still in the top like 2% of Twitch.
You are. I check all the time.
Yeah, he loves analytics.
I do.
So that's super
4%?
important.
I average 4 viewers.
Oh.
That's completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You want to know a secret? The vast majority of people on Twitch stream to less than 3.
Yeah.
Most of them are 0. Now, the reason I can say that, because the majority of people aren't affiliates on the platform. So the odds of people becoming a full-time streamer, as we said, less than 2%, because most people at my size probably wouldn't be a full-time streamer. If I had more responsibilities, I wouldn't be a full-time streamer.
Right.
Right.
So you just have to know that and go in with that idea. I know it sounds so freaking sweet to be able to play video games, sit at home. That's all you do.
Yep,
You
that's
get
the
to
dream.
spend time with your family. That's
Yep.
a dream. That's awesome. But if you are comparing your success with the work that you're putting in right now with that goal, you are setting yourself up for failure because you are not to that point yet. Most people never get to that point. So make little goals that you can achieve and that you're going to be happy with. Because honestly, if you're wanting to quit, that's something that's just going to be between you and it's your coming to Jesus moment. If
Which
you want to do
Jesus?
this, yeah, if you want to do this, you're going to do it. If
Yeah.
you don't want to do it, you're going to quit.
Right.
For
Absolutely.
the person that sent this in to us, you're awesome. If you enjoy this and this is something that's important to you, keep doing what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Stop overthinking it.
Yeah, Aztec.
Yeah.
So I start calling you guys. So Crash, you kind of mentioned already that you stopped, switched your mindset, reevaluated. So I mean, obviously we know that's kind of your answer, but what would you say to the people wanting to quit? What is your advice? Do the same or?
I mean, I think that should be your first step before quitting. I think that you should make a conscious effort to take a break, whether it's skipping one stream or skipping a whole week of streams,
Mhm.
and just take a step back. Go do something else that whole week. Don't even mess with it. Don't make content, don't even mess with it and see what your life is there.
Yeah.
And if it feels like you miss it, you want to get back to it, then do it. You
Mhm.
know, just reevaluate. Come back in, maybe dip a toe in this time instead of jumping your whole, sticking your whole foot in the bear trap, and just, you know, give it a second to marinate and get back
Mhm.
on it if that's what you want to do. If it's not fun anymore, then quit. You know, if you're not having fun, let it go. There's something out there that you're going to enjoy. If do what's fun for you. Be yourself
Mhm.
and do what you love to do. And if you don't love it anymore, let it
Yeah,
go.
absolutely.
Yeah, in
Find something else.
sales, there's
This guy.
something that a lot of people talk to. Whenever you start getting into a rut, it's going back to basics. Whenever
Absolutely.
you first started streaming, what were you doing? You were just having fun. And you probably saw the most success when you were having fun.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
maybe this is crazy.
Yeah.
Have some fucking fun. Like
Right.
that's what it's all about, man.
That is awesome. Yeah, I mean, I love that, Crash, absolutely. And I think, like you said, if you can't reevaluate it and make it fun again, then it might be that time to call it at that point.
Yep.
Because I
Find
think
something else.
there is a time for a lot of people of when to call it. So what I would say to the people who are contemplating quitting or looking at it is, I've been doing this a long time, I should quit. One of the first things I would say is, like, stop comparing yourself, because this is what you got to be doing if you're thinking about quitting, or you're feeling like you're been doing this a long time and you're like, oh, I should just quit, because you're obviously comparing yourself to somebody. Stop comparing yourself to somebody else. Everybody's journey is different, everybody's situation is different, everybody's style is different, personalities are different. Like, you cannot compare yourself to anybody. Secondly, what I would ask is for you to look at yourself and be honest with yourself. What are you doing and not doing to make yourself successful? Are you networking? Are you posting content oh my god, brain fart. Consistently. I was gonna say continually. Consistently. Are you streaming consistently? Is it possible for you to stream consistently? Is there some kind of pattern of consistency you can find? Because we've talked about that before. Look at all these questions and answer them for yourself, and be honest with yourself. Don't lie and be like, oh yeah, I post content, and then I look at your TikTok and you haven't posted content in 6 weeks. Do all those things, because that is how you grow nowadays. Everybody has such a high expectation, because streaming has changed so much. Streaming is not just going live anymore. You got to be everywhere. You got to be available. You gotta do these things in order, if you want to see some real growth. You know, I think Twitch is just as bad today as it was last year at putting us out there and helping us be discovered. You know, Kick is proving itself to be worse at discoverability. You know, it's just one of those things. You know, so be honest with yourself in the work that you're doing and you're putting in. If you look at yourself and you're like, hey, I haven't been consistent, make a plan, set goals, as Haas just said, set realistic goals for yourself. I'm like, I'm going to post daily, because I just tried to do that like with my job and my kids. I was like, nope, not happening. I'm pushing. I'm going to keep trying. But I know every day, not missing a day, that's impossible for me. There's no way, you know, so unless I figure out a better scheme, figure out my time better.
It's rough even when you don't have all that stuff.
Exactly.
It's not easy.
Look at those things, be realistic with your goals. If you look at that stuff and you're just like, I can't do it, you know, maybe then that's the time to question yourself of, you know, do I quit? You know, we unfortunately, we just had a community member come to the terms of quitting, send us all a big message, and it was sad, man. It broke my heart to read it. But I totally understand this person's journey, and I understand their situation, and I understand the things that they were saying. You know, they understood that work was coming first, family was coming first, and they just didn't have the time to do it. Mm-hmm. And they we talked separately, and they kind of felt like it was just not worth getting everybody's hopes up that, hey, I'm going to be here, you know, hey, come sub to me when I might stream one time this month, and they feel terrible for that, you know, which at that point we know, so we're subbing to you because we love you, not because, you know, we expect a whole lot out of you, but, you know, and they decided to step down and stop. And it's sad to see. It sucks to see, because I think the world of this person, and you know, but at the end of the day, I'm very proud of, because, you know, looked at his life, looked at what he needed to provide for his family, and he quit. You know, so and I think a lot of the thing was his own mental health. He's going to be able to do the fun things that he wants to do outside of this, and go hang out and have an actual life outside of just being behind a blue screen all day. So, you know, kudos to them, but. Mm-hmm. That's just one of those things, you know, a lot of time on the internet, what we're seeing, especially on our platform here, I said I wasn't going to bring it up. On our platform here, we have people commenting their opinions, which is great. We love that you guys do that. But then we go check their channel, and like, this person gave up 6 months ago, a year ago, you know, I'm like, oh, okay. You know, you still have the right to an opinion, but like, it's like, why did you give up? You know, if you think you're so right in your opinion and you just have all these answers, why did you give up? You know, so
I think as a rate, or as like a species, humans think that they're right. Like, everybody
naturally,
thinks they're right, which
like
is okay.
Nature.
Gotcha. So that's it's not just right. The wife. It's everybody.
No, it's everybody. It's everybody. Like, I can tell you 999.99% of the time, I think I'm right.
Yeah,
Could I be wrong?
I know.
Occasionally.
I'm the wife, right? So I am always right.
That's fair. Now,
you can't tell me I'm not always right.
We don't want to talk about that.
I'll just put these receipts back in my pocket real quick.
I got you, Mama. I got
you. Now, am I right the majority of the time? Probably, because I have experience on certain things. Am I wrong about a lot of things that I don't have experience in? Yeah. I'll be the first to admit that I'm probably wrong about a lot of things too. So you just have to realize that people are going to spout off with some nonsense. Same thing with comments, like we were talking about earlier on YouTube. You're going to get hate comments and trolls. You're also going to get people that think they know what they're talking about, saying things that don't make sense, don't actually matter.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. And I wanted to bring up, you were talking about how it's probably, whenever you start getting into this rut, it's because you're comparing yourself to someone else.
Right. I know that better than anybody.
Human nature. Yeah, I mean, Aztecan does this thing where, like, if he sees someone doing better, he will research that person and figure out what's going on. No, we're going to talk about it. Well, he'll research that person, and he will not let it go until he figures it out. And I'll be in the call with him while he's doing it. I'm like, stop. You don't need to do this.
I do. Yeah. You know, and it's not of me trying to just be, I'm better. You know, it's not that I truly think I'm better than this person. You know, what I know is the work that I put in. I know the hours I put in. I know what I'm doing behind the scenes. I know what I'm sacrificing. I know all these things that I'm doing. So when I see somebody else with success who I feel isn't doing the amount of work that I'm doing, I do. I over assess this person. I go to Twitch Tracker. I check their stuff. I not really join their community, but I join their streams and I watch and maybe a lurk, and I'm trying to figure out like what is so special about this person. What is it? And at the end of the day, it's psycho, because I'm not gonna find that answer, because not all those people are there today, right? They obviously went in at some point when this person was doing something else or something different, or maybe it was the same shit. I don't know. And that person managed to grasp their attention and grasp their love. So it's just not, makes zero sense for me to do what I do, but as a competitive person that puts in all this work, I still, and I look, and sometimes I've learned some things. There's been times where I've got some ideas and I've looked and I'm like, oh my God, that's genius, and I'm always usually super, unless I've never spoke to this person, I've just been lurking, especially a community member, I'll let them know, hey, I'm stealing this. I'll just be honest with you, I'm taking this idea. So,
I always feel like it's all community property anyway,
Yeah, there you go.
Like,
There you go. Yeah. So it is something that I do for sure, but it's all, to me, in the name of science. I'm just trying to learn, and I'm trying to figure out why.
I think it's super human nature to do that, to be completely honest. Like, people are competitive, especially super competitive people are competitive.
And knowledge is power.
And that's okay to be competitive. But whenever you start letting it control you and affect your mood, that's whenever it starts becoming a problem.
Yes.
So, and we've all had this happen. Like, I've looked at things where I'm not getting the results that I want, and I see someone else getting the results that they're getting, and I'm like, I know for a fact this person isn't better at this than I am.
Right.
They might be just as good or good in a different way, but they're not better. So why am I not getting those results? Which I think is what it derives from, is we all are putting in so much work into something, and it's a passion of love and sweat equity and everything that you want. It's just, you're so passionate about it. And when you're not getting the results you want, it fucking hurts.
Yeah.
Like, it just does. Like, if you've been working on a video and it gets 5 views and you just spent 5 hours making that video and editing it for another 3 hours and then putting little sound effects in for another hour and a half, or you spent almost 10 hours on that video and 5 people saw it, that stings, man. It does.
Yeah. Facts.
And it's okay. It's okay to have feelings. It's okay to like acknowledge that. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be something where you have to adjust something in your mind. You're not streaming for views. You're not making content for views. You need to be making content and streaming for yourself.
Absolutely.
Because you enjoy it. So once you can make that switch, I think all of these like competitive tendencies and all the streamer depression, or whatever you want to call it, would kind of slip away a little bit. Now, is that going to fix regular depression? Probably not, because that's not how that works.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
But it'll get you out of your feels a little bit about your own stream and about your content.
Yeah, it's definitely, and I'm guilty of it for sure. I mean, I can't lie because Sauce is here. It'll send you down an ugly, scary path, and I could tell. Like, when I start walking down that path, Sauce and Lucky are always here to pull me back out of it. But I'll notice. Like, I was at what was it, 16, 18 average viewers, and then I went spiraling down into that hole. Because the next stream I had like 10, I think, and then back down to 8. It's just like, oh, I fucked it up. I came in with an attitude and was mad, because I'm human. And again, I know the amount of sacrifice I put behind. At the end of the day, your viewers don't give a shit. Your community does. Your community does. But random viewers, new viewers coming in, they don't give a shit. They're here for a show, and you got to put it on. So get out of your feelings, put your show on, do what you're supposed to do. And if you can't, cancel the stream. That is the answer.
Yes.
And I tell you guys that, but I don't practice what I preach for sure, because I'm one of those weirdos who we've talked about in the past. I'm not missing a stream, no matter how crazy I am in my feelings and stuff. And it usually takes Lucky and Sauce a pitchfork and a knife at my throat to be like, hey, you're canceling this stream. So so yeah, it's just one of those things.
I practice what you preach, though. It's okay.
Let's think about it.
I have posted in my Discord flat out, not feeling it.
Yeah, right. Which is fine. That's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
definitely need to do that more in general. Most people do. I think it's important to remember that you are a show. So this is a form of entertainment.
We are entertainers.
So let me ask you, whenever you are watching a TV show, let's say The Walking Dead,
Hell
or
yeah.
let's say whatever show. How many episodes of The Walking Dead are there that you're like, wow, this episode kind of sucks?
All of season 6, I believe it was.
And what do you do? What do you do with those episodes normally?
Skip.
Yeah, you normally skip them or skim them, and you're like, okay, I know what happened. Whatever. It's the same thing for your stream, bruh. You
Yep.
better go in there making episode 1 content every time. You want that pilot energy. You want the thing that
Yes.
made that series a thing. Now, maybe not the pilot of or like season 1 of The Office. Maybe go season 2.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, episode 1, season 2, yeah. Yeah.
let's pick the good shows, but you gotta make that every time.
I've never seen The Office.
Wow.
Shame be thy name.
Wow. I hope that's part of some of the questions. But anyways, I think that's a super important thing to remember, is that you are the main source of entertainment on a stream. So you have to be entertaining, you have to be on point, and that's a lot of work. So that's why you don't stream for 8 hours a day. That's why you don't stream 5 days a week. That's why you have times. Because guess what? People are going to get tired of you if you stream 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Because just like your favorite show, you can binge watch something for a little bit, but eventually it starts feeling like a chore if there's too much of it.
Yeah.
Right.
I've been an entertainer my entire life. My
Mhm.
parents started parading me around really young, singing and stuff. So for me, this was more like my opportunity to continue to be what I was taught to be growing up and everything, but on my own terms,
Mhm.
without my mom and dad holding the puppet strings and saying, sing this song. Oh no, the crowd prefers you sing this song, oh, don't wear that top,
Mhm.
being my parents.
Yeah, I
Gotcha.
mean, having control of your own thing is always nice. That's for sure.
It is nice to be your own boss.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Yes, no Lucky Bard, but again, I mean, Crash killed it. Thank you, Crash. Thank you so much for standing in. We definitely like to try to do more of that. So again, as you guys can see, we definitely take comments and stuff serious. So if you guys are having any kind of questions, even if we've already covered it in the past and you're just a little behind, shame. Comment on there, ask us about it. We'll retouch on it if we have to. Maybe our opinions have changed. Maybe we've got a new experience with it or something. So feel more than free to comment down below. If you're on a platform that doesn't allow comments, we do put this on YouTube. So feel more than welcome to come to the latest episode on YouTube and leave a comment there, even if it doesn't pertain to that episode. And we'll get it in there. You might even get a little shouty outy. Say your name.
You can tweet us too.
Yes, you can tweet at us. You can TikTok us. You can Instagram us. You can Threads us. We're all over the place. We definitely appreciate all the engagement. Again, Crash, just big thank you. I definitely asked Crash like 30 minutes before we aired this episode, hey, you trying to stand in? So she's super, super good team player. She came in, held her own. We appreciate you guys. Jesus, I'm saying a lot. Here we go. We're going to get out of here, though. We love you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Lucky will be back. Much love.